Hey, it's me. It's Greg Schweitzer here at Catalyst Transformation Institute, your coach and the chief catalyst here. So, listen, I want to talk about leadership today because this is such a critical topic, especially now in our modern times. Each of us, if you haven't figured this out yet, each and every one of us, that means you are a leader in some way, shape, or form. Leaders simply influence people and situations, and you do that. You do that. But do you do it well? Does any of us do it well? The people who are leading you, do they do it well? So let's get to the heart of the matter. Leadership's a common topic, but it's uncommon to see great leaders. Let's work that out. Let's get better at that. So first and foremost, I want to talk about leadership. What is a leader to begin with? In my opinion, and one of my favorite definitions is that a leader is someone who goes there first or someone who goes there with. And that's really important because when you're leading, you're out in front, right? You're out in front, you go there first or you go there with someone or a group of people or something like that. So let's get clear on that. Leader is someone who goes there first. Now, leadership, the definition I want to work with you today is the act of helping others to go there. So if a leader goes there first, leadership is helping others to go there, wherever there is. Okay, whatever the goal is, whatever the character development, whatever the thing is that you're leading somebody to do, you go there. Okay, all right. So we got this straight now. Now let's dig into this because this video is called the 3 I's of leadership. And I believe that these words that begin with I are actually the 3 most critical pieces to leadership. Why do I believe that? Because I've had the great fortune of being able to study leadership, meaning reading leadership books and those kinds of things. I've been trained in leadership, and I've had positions in leadership. And so this has been my experience. And I think it will contribute to the ongoing conversation about leadership and leading. And I'm just going to say this for this one thing that's more my stance than I've necessarily heard it from somebody else, but I think it still stands true. First and foremost, let's talk about where leadership happens. And the first and most important place that leadership happens is self. Folks, if you're going to get good at leading anyone or leading any situation, you got to get good at leading yourself first. If you can't go there first, why would anybody follow you? Okay, why would anybody follow you? Okay, so where else does leadership happen? Leadership happens with employees. It happens with colleagues. It happens with strategic partners. Leadership can happen with your children and your family, right? Leadership can happen in your community, right? If you volunteer or you're part of a community. Leadership can happen in your church, okay? So there's lots of places where we can lead ourselves and others. And so I want you to understand the broad application to what we're about ready to learn with the 3 I's, okay? So let's dig in. The first I is to inspire. So let's just look at all 3 I's. The 3 I's of leadership are inspire, inform, and inquire. Okay? Inspire, inform, and inquire. So the first I is to inspire. And when it comes to leadership, vision is absolutely critical. Okay? You may have heard the phrase that says, without a vision, the people perish. You see, if we're leading people, where are we leading them to? What are we leading them to do? What is the end result? What is the purpose? What are we after? And that's what vision is all about. And so inspiration is painting a clear and compelling vision to go after. And that's really part of the job of the leader, is to not only have the vision, but to evangelize or to sell the mission to the people who are participating in making the mission happen or the vision happen, and to those who are buying, right? Those who are buying the vision and the mission. So that's a critical piece. And that's what inspiration is all about. When you have an end result that you're after and you just can't not have it, that's inspiration. It's compelling. It's pulling us in. Leadership is not pushing. Let's just be clear about that. Leadership is not pushing. Leadership is creating a clear and compelling vision and future that pulls us towards it. It's like magnetic, right? Can you feel that difference? I want you to think about the leaders in your life, okay? Whether they've been in job positions or business or church or just, people in your life. Has it not been that those people who've painted a clear and compelling picture, a vision of something grand that has gotten you inspired the most because they had the character and the vision? That's how we need to be, okay? Another piece here about inspiration and why one of the three I's is inspiration, or to inspire in leadership, is the idea of celebrating like a pig wallows in slop. When you're leading people, they need to know they're making progress. We've studied this. Daniel Pink talks about it in his book Drive, but it shows up all over the place that progress, making progress, hitting milestones is one of the greatest contributors to our happiness and fulfillment in life, but it's also one of the greatest contributors to knowing if we're getting anywhere near the results that we want to. And we generally don't do anything unless we feel like we can get the results. Yes or yes, right? So if you're leading people to get a particular result, you're leading people towards a particular vision, when they make progress, you need to celebrate them like a pig wallows in slop. Why do I say it that way? Because too often we get something accomplished. We work towards a vision or a mission, and we're just like, got that done, move on. Got that done, move on. And quite honestly, that creates a lot of drudgery. It creates a lot of stagnation because we get bored with that. So what does celebrating like a pig wallows in slop look like? It means you do something out of the ordinary, specifically to celebrate that particular milestone or that particular piece of progress. If you go out to dinner to eat on a regular basis, don't choose that as the way to celebrate like a pig wallows in slop, because you know what? You already do that. But what if? What if you did something different? What if you did something you've never done before and you're going just because you reached a milestone? Or you do this with your team. I've got a client right now who took her team down to Las Vegas, and they had a blast over 4 days in Las Vegas, just playing and goofing off and doing fun things, obviously in the casinos and that kind of stuff. But in between, in their hotel rooms, they had these fun little activities and games that they did. That was to celebrate the fact that they're on track for their goals, and they've done so well this year. That's what I'm talking about. All right, leader. And then you are, aren't you? Leader, make sure you're inspiring. Inspire yourself, inspire your people. What do you got to get to do to help keep you inspired so that you can turn around and give that inspiration to others? Through vision, evangelization, pushing the mission, and celebrating like a pig wallows in slop. All right, the second I. I number 2 is about inform. So inspire, inform, inquire. So inform. This is about training and coaching. If the people you're leading are needing to get a result, needing to fulfill the vision, get the result so that the vision is fulfilled, they need to know how. Okay, so let's talk about both of these pieces. Training and coaching, they're different. If you don't know that, they're different. Because we hear lots of words like training, teaching, coaching, mentoring, all those kinds of things. And there are some differences. Number one, I want you to understand, training is really teaching people what they don't yet know. It's a download of information. You're downloading information to people so that they have the knowledge of something that they didn't know before. That's important because if you're trying to get, and you and your team or the people you're leading are trying to get a result and they don't know how, what happens? You can't get the result, right? So you inform them on what they don't yet know to get the result they've not yet gotten. Ooh, that's good stuff. We train people to know what they don't yet know so they can get results that they've not yet gotten. Okay, so you either train them yourself or you cause them to be trained on the things that's going to make them successful for you to help them get to the vision. Okay, that's training. Now let's talk about coaching. Coaching is about implementation and execution. You see, my friend, there's a phrase that says knowledge is power, and it's a complete misnomer. As a matter of fact, it's completely misleading. Knowledge has no power in and of itself. It has no agency, if you will, no capability to make stuff happen. And just because you own some knowledge or you have some knowledge up in here, it's fruitless unless it's implemented or executed on. Unless it's used in some way, shape, or form. And this is where coaching comes into play. Okay, you train people on the information and the knowledge, and then you coach them on how to implement this. It's so fascinating how many people have really smart bookshelves because they've read books and they know data and that kind of stuff, but they've not gone out there and done anything with it, either because of fear or because they didn't know any better or whatever it is. But that's your job as the leader, is say, hey, I'm going to give you the opportunity to learn this great new information, which is going to make you infinitely more valuable. And I'm going to guide you and coach you on how to implement this stuff. It's about implementing and executing what they know already and what they've learned because of you. How powerful is that? New info, implemented info, new vision, go for it, right? All right. So now we've talked about inspiration and we've talked about information, right? Informing. Now let's talk about the last one, which the last I stands for inquire. Now this is about inspecting what you expect. Okay, so if you paint a clear and compelling vision for yourself or for the people you're leading, and then you inform them through information, right, to training and coaching, now they're hot to go. Okay, how do you know if it's working? What happens if stuff hits the fan? What happens if interference shows up? And it will. It will. Okay, all of this stuff will happen. It's just part of being human, part of being alive. Okay, we're going to receive some sort of opposition or run into some sort of challenge or problem or obstacle or hurdle. What happens? Okay, how do you know if it's working or not? How do you know if it's time to celebrate or not? And this is where it becomes important. Number one is you inspect. Inspect is the only way to know if you're progressing, and if progress is, you need to know that progress is essential to motivation, inspiration. So it's kind of a cyclical kind of a thing here. So inspect what you expect, and be specific. It's absolutely critical to be specific, because if you're saying, hey, I want you to get this done, maybe. But if you say, hey, this needs to get done this way by this time, and you need to reach these particular numbers or milestones, now people know exactly what they're supposed to do. And it's easier for them to implement the knowledge and the information if they have a how. Ooh. Okay. So you got to inspect it to see if people are actually coming through, to see if you're actually coming through on the stuff that you need to get done. Otherwise, where are we leading people to? We don't know. Okay. The second piece about inquire, the word inquire, is about self-discovery. Let me help you with this, because when when you're leading people and they go to work, right? They take their training and their coaching, they go to work to implement this stuff to work towards the vision. If they get stuck, or if they get challenged, or if they get lazy, okay, one of the greatest ways to lead people is to walk them through a process of self-discovery. It's one thing to tell people, you stupid idiots, you should know how to do this, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm being a little facetious with this. But at the same time, if you were to ask the question, so you didn't quite make the deadline that we had. What is it that got in the way? What could you do about what got in the way? How will you do this differently next time? Those kinds of questions let people self-discover the solutions that help them become as great as you need them to be as their leader. I want you to hear that. Too often leaders complain about their people, but they're not doing anything to help those people discover and utilize their own genius. And when you get really good at this game, when you get really good at the training and coaching piece, along with the inspiring piece, and you check up on your people and coach them, they will love you forever. They will follow you anywhere, because you've helped them become a greater version of themselves. You've helped them unleash their own genius and peel back the layers of the onion so that what's left there is the greatness that they can be. That's what makes you a great leader. You don't become a great leader because you can tell people what to do or because you can see things. You become a great leader because you help people become their greatest, right? Remember I said it's the act of helping others go there, and you've got to get good at peeling back those layers so that you can help people go there. All right? Now, there's a couple other things here real quickly about self-discovery. It's about asking questions. It's about asking the right questions instead of giving them the answers. And when people come to the conclusion themselves, when it's their idea, they're infinitely more likely to implement the solution because they were able to come to the conclusion of what that solution should be. Whereas opposed if it was spoon-fed to them, maybe not. Okay? Become a great leader. You are a leader already, but I'm encouraging you to become a great one. I want you to think about who are the people in your life, even those that might be in a higher paying or a higher profile position than you can still be a leader. You still are a leader. The question is, what kind of a leader are you, and where are you leading people to? Listen, I love you. I want you to be great because it's what you're made for, and I want you to be well and do good. That's what leaders do. All right. You have an awesome day, and we will talk soon.